All right, what's up, everybody? Today we are going by the numbers. We are talking about iron play. Let's get into it. Hey everybody, Scott Hogan coming at you. We're here in the studio. We are going to be going over some numbers, some things that I like to look at for good iron play. So if you have a launch monitor that has these numbers, these are what you're going to be looking for to know, hey, I am getting some good results. So before we do that, I do want to announce we do have an online boot camp starting a week from today, next Monday. So that's going to be July 26th. All right. And it goes for a month. You get a coach for a month, me, and we work on your games, get you some ideas of what you should be working on and going from there. So I'll link down below. We've had some great success with it. And also I'll link to where you can register at. And if you're interested in getting some help, love to have you be a part of it. Now, let's go into the numbers. So the things that we're looking at with iron play, there's two things that I like to see, and I think that good iron play players have. And one is going to be they have really good control of the distances that the ball is flying. Okay, so that's number one, good yardage control. And then second is going to be they have great start line control. So both of those things are going to be critical if you want to be a good iron player. Obviously, having some curve control and things like that is going to make a little bit of a difference. But you know what? Good iron players just kind of learn their stock shot and then go from there. They might learn to curve it down the road and, move the ball around. But you know what? A lot of players like Colin Morikawa, who is the number one iron player and just won the Open, he is somebody that just basically hits fades. Dustin Johnson, number one player in the world, basically just hits fades, never tries to hit draws. So just things to think about as you're going through and working on it. So the first thing that we want to look at, if we're going to look at our numbers, is how do I know I am making good, solid contact so I can get my distances correct? Well, the first thing we want to look at is your smash factor. For iron play, I think smash factor is huge. Now, when you're using it with a driver, obviously your goal is to get it up as high as possible, where it's like 1.50 or 1.49, something like that. But when you're hitting irons, your goal is to try and get something that is consistent. So what I always recommend people do is, if you do a quick Google search, just search for TrackMan numbers for the PGA Tour or the LPGA Tour, either way, and just get some references on, hey, if I'm hitting this iron, this is where my smash factor should be. If you do that, I think you're going to start to get a reference of like, hey, this is where I want to be. If I hit it nice, that's a good thing. Because one of the things that I see people do is when they're hitting their irons, they'll have smash factors that go all over the place. A lot of times it's low because they're not hitting the ball super crisp, but sometimes it's high because they don't hit it crisp and they blade the shot or something like that, and we've got a problem there. So you want to make sure you're getting something that's consistent, because that means you're hitting the ball the same way out of the middle of the face. So it's going to depend on what iron you're working on, but focus on getting your smash factor dialed in. Start even with some small shots and see what you can do, and that's going to get you on the right track. Now, the second thing that I would like to do that would go with this is going to be controlling your distance, learning your distance and what windows you can hit the ball into. So for people that are using a launch monitor, what I like to see is we follow what's called the 10% rule. So if I'm hitting an iron, if I hit it 170 yards, I've got a 10% circle around that I want to see the shots get into. So that would go for distance front and back. That's also distance left and right. Now you might say, hey, that's a decent size window. It is, but as you're working on your game, I think you'll be interested to see how it's not as easy as you might think to be able to pull it off. If you find it too easy, then we start shrinking it down. We do what's called the 7% and then the 5% window. See what we can do and start squeezing those numbers in there and those irons in there. So you're really going to get a feel for what your irons are and how you can get that ball within a target window as you're going. So that's what I would say is good iron play as far as accuracy goes. Now, the last thing is we need to control our start lines. Now, this is going to help you probably complete the 10%, 7%, or 5% drills, but what we're looking at here is club face control. You have to be able to start the ball on a direction and see that ball go out of what we call the window. So there's always a window that you're kind of looking at as a golfer where you're expecting the ball to fly out of. So The way we do that is through club face control. On a launch monitor like a Mevo Plus, you're going to be using your horizontal start lines. If you do have, you know, a TrackMan X3, you can use the face angle number. Although, based on how you strike the ball, you might not start it straight ahead, depending on what's going on. So the rule of thumb that I like to use is I like to use what's called the in between the twos. So I like to see a ball start from 2 degrees right to 2 degrees left. Anywhere in there, I think you're going to be doing pretty good. And then obviously as you're getting better, you can actually shrink that to say, hey, I want to be within 2 degrees on one side or 1 degree each way. You can start shrinking that window. But in between the twos, you're going to have a really good start. And the thing about this is it's going to really affect how far that ball goes. It's going to affect our ability to get the smash up, things like that. So you really are going to be putting this all together into good iron play by working on all of these numbers together. So if I had to work on iron play, these are the numbers we consistently look at, trying to get these numbers to be very good. That's going to make your game much more reliable, much more predictable, which when it comes to iron play, that is what it is all about. So that is by the numbers iron play. If you have any questions, comment it down below. And as always, click that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any other videos, and check out our online boot camp coming up. Can't wait to have that going, and hopefully you're going to be able to join us in that. So thanks everybody for tuning in. We'll catch you in the next video. Peace.